Part 7, and it's the bathroom special, and in this one I'm going to be tiling the whole bathroom floor to ceiling, and I am going to be using these massive bastards. They are 60 by 120 centimeters. They are huge. Originally I was going to use the same tiles I used in the kitchen, which are 30 by 60 centimeters, but then I thought bigger, well, it's just better, isn't it? So I'm going to be using those for walls number 1, 2 and 3. We will get to that massive problem in a bit. For wall number 4, I've once again gone to my mates and said, is wood effect tile a good idea? And they've all said, are you mental? No, but this time, I'm doing it anyway! Look how wonderful that looks. That is a 40 by 120 centimeter tile. I'm going to do it in a horizontal pattern. I think that will look absolutely incredible when that goes up. Naturally, when everyone says one thing and you elect to do another, you're either a defiant genius or a massive idiot. And in this video, we're going to work out which side of the fence I will fall. Got a few new tricks since the last episode doing the kitchen. Instead of using this tool, I'm going to be using this one because, as we've established, bigger is just better. I'm also going to be using this wall primer on the walls, and what that does is prime the walls. I'm also going to be using a back buttering technique, so that's apply a thin layer of tile adhesive on the wall and then notched adhesive on the tile when you put that on. And that's going to be better for sort of miscellaneous reasons. We're going to do this one wall at a time, so wall number 1 should be nice and simple, all the way up there, all the way up the side using very thin tiles, and then neat at the top in the middle. Should be nice and straightforward, mostly given that the wall is now only 4 tiles high using this massive thing. So yeah, let's get started. Right, wall number 1 is done with mixed results overall. I'm happy with how the tile looks overall. I'm really pleased with the big tiles. That is, I mean, the aim of buying those was more modern and more minimalistic, and I think that achieves that goal very nicely. Once again, didn't have too many problems with the cutting of the tiles. It did take a little while to get into position each time because the tiles are more than half the width of the bathroom, but we got there in the end. Did, however, once again struggle with the adhesive, so I'm still struggling to get those notches right on the tiles, and when they went into position, there are loads of little imperfections. You can see down there it's pretty much matching where the door frame is, and then up there further apart again, starts close up there and then further apart up there. I guess the floor was just a bit wonky, I'm not sure. Tiles number 2 and 3 are a little bit further out from the wall as well, which again just difficulties with the adhesive. Tile number 4 as well, the top left one, is all over the place. You've got a massive gap here, massive gap at the top, no gap compared to tile number 5, and it is so far out from the wall compared to this tile as well. Might be the worst thing I've ever done. That was my second attempt at that tile as well, because I stepped on the first one and broke it. I am going to continue with how it is for now, but if I'm bored one day after the project's done, I might take that down and have another go. I've got spares. Overall, I am mostly pleased. Also done a little bit of wall number 3. That may or may not have been a massive mistake, and we will get to why later. Wall number 2 is where the real problems begin. So first of all, this. I cannot get these tiles off for the life of me. I even invested in the proper tool, that thing, but still, I just cannot get them off. I can't actually see any evidence of like notched adhesive, so I don't think they've used adhesive at all. I think they've put them on with some sort of glue. which is madness. But fundamentally, those tiles are not coming off. Problem number 2, this wall is not straight at all. So I've got a tile balanced here. You can see it's flush with the wall for most of it. And then as you get to the other side, there is a huge gap there, leading all the way up to the tiles. I reckon, however, I can solve both of those problems in one go. So what I've got is this tile backup board stuff. I'm going to put that up against the existing tiles and then just sort of bridge the gap where that little hole is. I'm then just going to tile over the existing tiles because there's no way I'm getting them off, and that is really the best I can do. Hopefully that works and they don't just fall straight off. The wall should be approximately level with that there, but any other little imperfections I'm just going to sort out with extra tile adhesive in places. That's the plan. Let's get started. Wall number 2 is done and my plan works. The wall is perfectly smooth left to right. In terms of mitigating imperfections as well, this wall actually worked out a lot better than the first wall, and I'll attribute a lot of that to this, the rubber mallet. Being able to whack the tiles into place made a hell of a lot of difference and lined everything up much more nicely. We move on to walls number 3 and 4. I'm going to do these both together, mainly because I'm going to have to decommission the shower, get all the tiles up and then put it back together. So as at the start, it's going to be white stony effect up here and then the wood effect tiles on this wall. In terms of taking the shower apart, I've got absolutely no idea how it works, so I'm just going to unscrew everything and see what it looks like. The reason I thought putting that tile in might be a massive mistake was if I couldn't get these shower wall tiles off, but they're all off and it's happy days, so we move on. that, we are done. Wall number 3 went pretty well, only minor imperfections. Best thing about using the big tiles in the shower is that there are only 2 grout lines on this wall, of which one is pretty much obscured and too high up anyway, so that's the only one where there's really going to be any water. So it's going to make cleaning very straightforward. Also, new shower head and new rail, which I think look nice and modern. I actually couldn't get that shower unit off at all. I actually had to put it forward while I was getting the old tiles out and then slide the new ones underneath. So there are some imperfections with that top left tile, but you can't see it anyway because it's covered up. Also wraps the cable and the pipe with white cable sleeving, just because it looks a little bit nicer. I think it completes the look. And now, wall number 4. The question I posed at the start of this video is, wood effect tiles, idiot or genius? And I'll be honest with you people, I think I'm a massive idiot. I really do. I just don't think it works with the rest of the wall. I don't hate it, I don't think it's terrible, but I can't help but feel it would have just been better for the room as a whole if I'd used these same stony effect tiles on this wall as well. In my partial defence, these tiles did look brighter on the website. They looked closer to oak effect on there, whereas on the wall now they look closer to walnut. But other than that, I do like the pattern with the big one in the middle, the little ones either side, and then alternating going upwards. I do like that, but yeah, for the wall as a whole, I can't help but feel it feels just a bit too dark compared to the rest of the room. There are some little improvements I think I can make, so I want to get some greenery because I always think that looks good with wood effect. So some nice little hanging down plants I think on either side. Real or fake, not really sure, but I think that would look quite nice. But other than that, I think this wall is sort of going to go in the category of jobs that are done, but that I might come back to in future and just kind of do the white stony effect tiles everywhere. I'd probably destroy the wall in doing that, so I'd need some new plasterboard or backerboard as well. But yeah, that's for the future. Still thinking about whether or not to replace the electric tail rail. There's nothing whatsoever wrong with the one I've got, I just fancy one that's a little bit more modern. I'll go away and ponder. The verdict is, I'm sticking with the old one. I figured it was about 250 quid, something that I was purely going to replace for aesthetic purposes, and it's something that spends about 99% of its time completely covered up by a towel anyway. Also, the majority of the ones I was looking at had to be plumbed in, and there is no plumbing on this wall at all, so way too expensive, way too complicated. Made sense to stick with what I've got. Also, I think that silver offset against the white of the tile looks really nice, so I think it looks better than it did before. I'm pleased with that. Only thing left to do in the bathroom is replace the bath panel. And there we are, a nice shiny bit of MDF as opposed to the rotten piece of cardboard I had before. I do like the white, although there is a small part of me that thinks wood effect might have been better. I need locking up, honestly. And that's that, the bathroom is fully done. I'm very happy with the vast majority of it. It's just this wood effect wall, which I'm still not convinced about, but let me know in the comments what you think. That's it for this episode. The only room I've got left to renovate in the flat is the loft, and we're going to do that next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and peace.